So today, as Father Andrew stated at the beginning, this is the feast of Maximilian Kolbe. Now, there are a lot of really amazing martyrs in the Catholic calendar, but to me, Maximilian Kolbe is one of the greatest. To me, he is. I have never been able to preach on him. This is the first time ever. And so I'm going to talk about him a little bit. And for those who don't know about Maximilian Kolbe, he was a Polish Catholic priest, born in the late 1800s. And by the time World War II started, he was in his 40s, mid-40s, late 40s. And he had been a missionary for a number of years and had just come back to Poland when the war broke out. He was a Franciscan, and he produced a lot of pamphlets. He gave these pamphlets out in the neighborhoods where he lived. And these pamphlets were mostly anti-Nazi Germany, the government. And because of that, he was arrested. He was put in prison, and then a little bit later on, they moved him to Auschwitz. Now, we've all heard about Auschwitz. But in 1941, Auschwitz was just beginning to become a place of execution. The Jews, in fact, Hitler had already determined that he was going to execute every Jew in all of Germany. But they learned real quick that if you kill 10 million people, you have to put them somewhere. And you just can't bury them because you would have graves everywhere throughout the country, or all those countries. And so they had to figure out a better way to do this. And Auschwitz and 5 other places like this would become their model, which is to exterminate Jews on a wholesale basis. In fact, their goal at one time was to try and kill 20,000 people every day. 20,000 people every day, and burn them every single day. They never got to that goal, but they got pretty close. So Maximilian Kolbe was sent there along with a lot of other Jews and non-Jews, because at the time they were building thousands of these places, barracks to put people, and building railroads, and building the camp itself, and places for food, and everything that they needed, especially the crematoriums, everything they needed. They had to have labor to do this, and they wanted slave labor, so they just would take people out of prison and bring them in here, or even just take them and bring them in here to work. And they had so many people there, and they were doing so much, it was very hard to guard all these people, and they would have people escape from the prison. So to deter this, they would say, anytime somebody escapes, we will kill a number of people. And they did it different ways. In this particular case, with the Maximilian Kolbe, somebody escaped, and they randomly took 10 people, and they were going to starve them all until they died. And when this one gentleman was picked, he yelled out, "Don't take me, I have a wife and children." And Maximilian Kolbe heard that, and he said, "Take me instead. Take me instead." And they did. 9 of those prisoners died within a week or so because they didn't feed them very much to begin with. Maximilian Kolbe continued to live, and they got irritated and aggravated at him, so they finally shot acid into his veins, and that killed him immediately. The reading today, the first reading, the prophet Ezekiel is chastising Israel for turning away from God. In fact, he tells them that they are captivated by their own beauty. The people of Israel are captivated by their own beauty. And how apropos is that in our society today? It's all about me. If I don't want to be me, I could be somebody else. If I don't want to be a male, I could be a female, and vice versa. Or I could be a transgender and be whatever, either one I want. I can do anything. If I want to to not have to marry a female, I'll marry a male. It's all about me and what I want to do. It's not about God anymore. It's not about what He created or how He created me. It's all about what I want. Then Prophet Ezekiel blasted the Israelites for being the same way as we are today. St. Maximilian challenges us, even in his death, to be different. He challenges us to be all about what God has created me to be. God created me to be me, not to be somebody else, not to be something else. He created me to be me, and He created me to love everyone. Whether they're white or black or brown or yellow or whatever they are, I am to love everyone and not see what their color is. I am to give and help everybody that I can in my little sphere of influence. Whatever I can do to help others, I should do. He shows us by his example of giving his life, a Catholic priest, for a Jew. For a Jew. And that's what God wants us to do, to give ourselves and our lives to everyone that we can. Because that's what He made us to be love, and to love each other in that same way.